We're good to start.
We're good to start.
So what's good? Hey, how was your morning today?
The studio's looking really good today. They did a really nice job here.
Yes.
Well, what's good today is I look forward to this each and every week, Joyce. Hanging out with you and sharing. And by the way, thank you so much in case you're just tuning in. What's good with John and Joyce? And we focus on silver linings, what's good. We try to stay away from the negativity. There's so much of it out there in the real world. When you listen to this show,
to the curb.
Exactly. When you listen to this, watch it. We just want to focus on positivity. I know it sounds kumbaya. We've said that before, but it's. I think the world needs it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing from viewers and listeners. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
So thank you. Subscribe on YouTube. It's free, and we're available on all the major platforms. So I'm John Cadillac Seville from iHeartRadio and John Seville Entertainment. And Joyce.
I'm just Joyce.
No, Joyce, come on. You're a world-renowned author. You're a therapist. You're a super mom. You're a loyal friend to all.
Oh, isn't that nice?
You're a great baker.
Well, thank you.
Oh.
I'm also a person who found pink shoes this morning.
I love them.
So I didn't know I had these pink sparkly shoes.
They're beautiful.
And I had planned to wear my pink pants.
Oh, you're very color coordinated. You always.
I am so yeah, you won't see it, but it was amazing for me this morning because let's just say even the undergarments are pink.
Yep.
Yeah. Just happened.
Interesting we were talking about visuals before when people watch.
Yeah.
And the majority of the people I talk to listen more than they watch.
And they talk about their underwear? What?
Not like they more like listen to the podcast, right? Than watch it. They're usually
that's true.
On the treadmill. Yeah. They're in the car. Always curious about.
So I have Spink sparkly.
Leon Spinks, remember the old boxer, right? Leon Spinks. Jeez.
Pink sparkly shoes.
Yep.
I don't even know where I got them, but they're pretty cool. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an old song back in the day called Pink Shoelaces, which we were talking about off air. Dodie Stevens. And I haven't said that name in 100 years. It just came out.
Right. Grease.
Because us radio geeks, we always talk in song titles. When we're up at the radio station, we'll have a conversation, but we'll use song titles as the conversation. It's just inside geek stuff.
Yeah. I know. There's a song going through my head lately.
Going out of my head.
I don't know. Let's see if you know this name. Oh. I'm sure you do. But it's not someone I've heard in years and years, and it's playing in my head. Jane Oliver.
Jane Oliver?
Do you know
I've heard of her. Yeah, she's a great singer.
So Jane Oliver has a very unique tone to her songs. It's a little haunting and
ethereal in a sense.
Yeah.
Not quite Enya ethereal, but yeah, different.
Right, not quite Enya. But she sang a Gene Pitney song.
Boy, the Rockville Rocket, Connecticut's own
I
Gene
knew
Pitney.
Yes.
Loved him.
Yes, no, he's wonderful. I'm laughing about it because I worked a couple of shows with him, and I kept saying to everyone, I think I'm never nervous meeting a celebrity. I just never was. I get excited, but not nervous. But I was with Gene Pitney, and I kept telling the people around me, he's a legend.
Yes, he is.
But a lot of the people didn't know who he was, especially the younger people.
Right.
And I said, you don't know him? He's from Connecticut.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Right.
So no, that was a fun night. But the thing with the Jane Oliver song, as she's singing his song, he comes on in the bridge.
Wow.
And the song is Half Heaven, Half Heartache.
Yes. Beautiful ballad. It builds.
It builds.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a really profound feeling listening. Boy, does music bring out feelings.
It really does. And if you're not familiar with Gene Pitney, those of you watching and listening right now, just Google and go to Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, check him out.
Yeah.
An amazing voice, a really great talent.
Town Without Pity.
Yeah.
There was he
that was a
did.
movie, A Town Without Pity, too.
Yeah, and I guess it must have been his vocals on that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that song really got to me. It brought out a lot of, which I didn't realize, a lot of grief still left inside of me.
You could tell with Joyce, the music's our passion. I mean, just
yeah.
We go down that rabbit hole really quick.
Yeah.
You just mention a song, and bam, there we go.
Yeah, I bet you guys do too. I think everybody does that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I felt it was cathartic in a lot of ways. I don't know why that song showed up in my mind. And then I put it on YouTube, and you don't see, the visual. It was just the audio. And I love that part where Gene Pitney comes in during the bridge. So half heaven, half
And
heartache.
one more song I have to mention, Gene Pitney.
What is
My
it?
all-time favorite.
What?
Every Breath You Take.
Oh, I don't.
Every breath you take, it just goes.
Wait a
starts
minute,
off
isn't that
really
Sting?
slow, and then it crescendos.
That's not Sting?
No, that was another song. That's a good point. But Every Breath You Take, but you're right. Police, Every Breath You Take, which
Yeah.
was the biggest song of the 1980s.
Yes.
The number one song in the entire decade,
and,
which we play on the River 105.9.
and Sting
Cheap Plug.
said he hates singing that song.
It's like Barbra Streisand singing People.
No, the reason why he hates singing that song is because it's a mean-spirited.
It's a stalking song.
It's a stalking song.
Right. It's a stalking
Yes.
song.
But I didn't take it as that back when he first recorded. I took it as very passionate.
Right.
Like, every step you take, I am watching you, baby.
I know, yes, it is. And it's like
But
the
now
song
it's
by,
like, what?
The song by
What?
REM called "This Goes Out to the One I Love." A lot of times I get together with bride and grooms to talk about music.
Yes.
I DJ a lot of weddings, and they'll say, "I want that song." I say, that's really not a love song. It's a song about betrayal.
What is the song?
This one goes out to the one I love by REM, one of my
So-
favorite bands of the '80s.
So it's about betrayal.
Betrayal, and people just hear "This goes out to the one I love" like a request,
Right.
but it's not a love song.
Oh.
Not a love song at all. Like Every Breath You Take. You don't want that. Maybe at the divorce party.
Somebody
You could play
did
that.
have that at their wedding, because I remember someone telling me that, and they thought, I don't think the bride realizes.
Just likes the song.
He's stalking her.
That's right. That's right. What are we supposed to be talking about today?
I
anyway?
know, I know.
We lose our train of thought here.
No, I just love talking about music. And,
Yeah, me too.
my happy music. And thank you for playing Billy Squire.
On the radio this morning.
Yes, my happy music is Billy Squire, the Beatles. If you throw that on,
Yep.
I am in my happy
Yeah,
zone.
we play a little bit of both on that
Yeah.
station too.
Yeah, and the early Beatles. I
Right.
like the early Beatles.
Yeah.
Anyway, some people have said to me, and I thought this could be a good show topic today, that, Joyce, I have tried everything.
Mm.
I've meditated. I have all kinds of self-help books, and I pray. I don't see any change in my life. So if you dig a little deeper, I found that the meditation is not something they do every day. It's something sporadically. And I think you could address the prayer part of it, that maybe they expect the answer to come right away, or the exact answer that they want.
Well, Joyce, we live in a world where everybody wants it yesterday.
Hmm.
And so many people think successful people come out of a genie bottle. All of a sudden they're successful. They see someone like you who's done so many wonderful things, and they watch American Idol, they watch The Voice, and they think all of a sudden these people are up on stage and they're getting all these accolades, but they don't realize all the rejection, all the people who told them they couldn't do it on the way up, all the clubs they played, all the people that booed them, all the people said, "You coming from a small town in, Delight, Arkansas. I mean, who cares about you? What makes you think you're going to make it?" There's always those negative voices.
Right.
And most people give up just when they're in the threshold of making it.
Mm-hmm.
But to address your point about that, they sporadically do things. It's something we need to do consistently. I think the greatest trait of anybody successful is consistency.
Yes.
Show up even when you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and do the things you don't want to do, even when you don't want to.
Yeah.
And there are so many things I don't want to do many times, but I get up. I want to go to the gym every day. But I go to the gym every day because I know it's good for me. It's good for my insides. It's good for my outsides. It helps. It makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
But so many people, I want to lose 25 pounds, and I want to lose it because I'm going to be in a wedding in a month, and I got to lose 25. No, it doesn't work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take time. It's discipline. It's plodding along. It's very unsexy to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's why, unfortunately, they talk about the 95 percentiles or the 5 percentiles. 5% of the people are the ones, 95% of the people work for 5% of the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because 5% of those people go out there and they hit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, but
It
I
is
would
the
just say,
consistency.
be disciplined, consistent and disciplined. And I fall short all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We're human. There are so many times where it's like, oh, I wish it would happen quicker, but it doesn't.
Yeah, things tend to happen when you are out there, out and about. And I remember my mother's heart doctor, wonderful, wonderful man, Dr. Perush.
Dr.
And
Poosh?
Dr. Perush. Well, it's a
Perush.
very
Perush.
long name. I think he shortened
Sure.
it. It's a Perush Thama something.
Yeah.
But what a lovely man. And he said to me one day, when people he said, even if you're going to McDonald's or you're going to a bank, don't drive through. Get out of the car. Engage with people. That's what helps your heart and improves your life. It not only are you walking a little bit
Right.
more, but you're actually speaking to someone. You may see someone in there that you know, and you do that all the time, John. I know you're out and you are engaging with people and having conversations. So when somebody prays, and let's say they're praying for their business or whatever, but if you stay in that small little area and you don't get out and express that to someone else who may say, I have an idea.
Right.
I've got a rent, or I've got or whatever. In fact, I heard someone speaking yesterday that when they lived in LA, they never interacted with people because you're driving your car all the time. But when they moved to New York, they started going out to a Broadway play and having dinner and having coffee, because you can do it by yourself. But eventually they met a lot of people
Sure.
doing that. So I do think that, getting back to the original questions that people had, is what you said. First of all, don't give up. And maybe not all prayers are answered the way you want them to be.
Well, Garth Brooks had a song, Unanswered Prayers. I thank God for unanswered prayers.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Because God, the God universe, whatever you call it, I call it God. God knows best. He knows what's best for us.
Mm-hmm.
And many, many times things don't happen at that time because it's not the right time. If something happened at that time, you tried to force it, it would be more of a burden than a blessing.
Exactly.
Everything we've heard that saying, everything
Exactly.
happens in God's timing. Right?
Yes.
Timing is everything, even
Yes.
from a secular standpoint, if you want to put God in the equation. But too many times we force things in our own time,
Mm.
and it ends up, not being exactly. And I think our Maker wants the best for us, so
Right.
we just have to be patient,
Right.
and it's not easy. But just go out there and be the best where you are now. If you don't like the job you're in now, be grateful for that job. Be the
Mhm.
best person. I don't like, bagging up groceries at a grocery store. Well, be the best friggin' bagger ever.
Yeah.
And talk to people. Look them in the eye. How's your day?
Yeah.
And can I help you with this, and that? And then you engage, like you said, in conversation.
Right.
And then eventually that person might say, you're really good at what you do. What's your long-term goal? What would you like to do? Well, I'd like to do so-and-so. Well, I just happen to know a person.
Right.
To address your point, engaging in conversation.
Right.
And everybody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
So put
You're
it out in the
so right.
universe.
You're so right. Yeah. I have a habit of speaking with cashiers.
I love cashiers.
I promise you, I don't hold up the line. If there's a line, I don't
Right.
engage. But yeah, I love speaking, especially to young people and who don't seem very friendly. And I've met a few of them, and I just asked a person, so what's your goal? Like, what do you love doing?
I love
And
the way
she
you
said,
it.
I
love
love
it.
to sing.
Yes.
I said, you do? That's a gift. You have to sing. So now every time she sees me, she waves to me.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the gym I go to, and I see a couple of these guys behind the counter, and it's boring for them. They're just standing there, and it's like they're there for 8-hour shifts.
Mhm.
And every time I walk in there, I always say hi to them, call them by name, because people love to hear their names.
Yeah.
Say, I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
You're always so friendly when people walk in. I like the way, I noticed from a distance the other day, the way you talked to that elderly person. I thought that was really nice.
Hmm.
And then I'll kind of lean into them and say, so like you said, what's your long-term goal?
Mhm.
I guarantee you that when you asked them and I asked them, we're among the very few that ever asked them, so what's your long-term goal? What do you want to do with your life?
Yeah. I think most people, especially a cashier, what they're hearing is they're complaining about the prices.
Yes.
And I understand that, but the cashier can't help you
Not
with
their
that.
fault.
So you're just stirring up the pot of negativity, which brings me back to why you feel you're doing everything and nothing is happening. So you can't do short-term prayer, thinking positive. It's the moment you wake up to walking down the street, engaging with people. Don't engage on, oh, this weather is so bad. Oh, the prices are high, politics are blah, blah. Don't even engage in that, because then it robs you of that precious energy.
That's right.
And once that energy is not there, you can't connect where you want to be. It's like energy attracts like energy.
That's right.
That's why it's birds of a feather flock together. The rich get rich, the poor get poor. All those things are true for a reason.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
There you go.
I don't know why I threw that in there. I heard somebody say that the other day. It's like, whoa, I have to use that somewhere. You gave me an in, Joyce.
I've heard that all my life, and I'm trying to think like exactly what that means. But
but it is being consistent, being disciplined, putting yourself out there. I love that.
And it's not hard to do. Maybe initially it feels that way, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And then what happens is that you feel that negative energy from other people, and you think, oh, I'm stepping away from this.
Right.
And you maybe forgot that you were one of them. And now you're somebody different. And you like that feeling. You like the feeling of saying, instead of saying like, why is this happening? Just to say, you know what? It may be raining, but we need the rain. It's good for the earth. Yes, there could be flooding. There's always been flooding. Isn't it great that we have people who are helpers? And there's so many ways to turn terrible things around. Tornadoes that have wrecked and killed people. I mean, that has always taken place.
Sure.
But you can't sit there and just dwell on that. You can think about the helpers. You can think about the great care and people, you hope will be building homes and all of that. But and then that will get me started on, we shouldn't be knowing the news 24 hours a day.
No, don't do it.
Throughout the whole world.
Check in 20 minutes during the course of the day. It's all run on
We're
loop.
not built for
It's
that.
all on loop.
We're
No,
really not.
too
We're
much
built
negativity.
for more community-based. What's going on in your hometown?
Right.
How can you help out? It's impossible to help everyone. You can send a general prayer out every night, which I do, for the whole world healing, for every leader of the world to be kind, to be helpful, and let it go at that. That could be your part. You want to send money to the Red Cross, Salvation Army, God bless you, do that. If that makes you feel, whatever makes you feel better.
Put it out into the universe at the end of the day. Just pray, 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 and then you're like this. I'm doing my best, and you take care of the rest.
Yeah. Enjoy your life. Have your meal.
Enjoy your life. Exactly.
Pet your cats.
Right.
Right.
But it's so easy to get baited into negativity.
Oh.
People do it all the time, right? They bait in.
Look at the clickbait that is going on online. I can't believe the clickbait they're putting out, where it will say, rest in peace. And it's someone famous, and they're not dead.
Right.
They're not dead.
I mean, why?
And then people think, oh, she died or he died. And it's like, no, they just want you to click on it.
The news of my death has been greatly exaggerated.
Yes.
Connecticut's own Mark Twain said that, didn't he?
Oh, Mark Twain.
Way back in the day, Mark Twain and I were good buddies hanging out on the river.
Oh, John, I can almost see that. I think you've been endless on Earth in some way.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on who you talk to, Joyce. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Right, but the whole thing is just be patient. It's really hard because we want things now. We see so many people around us. We base our well-being on likes on social media. or somebody else is doing something really well, people have a tendency sometimes, to get a little envious or jealous. Remember, there's enough success to go around for all of us.
Yes.
So I'd rather cheer for people.
Yes.
And it's a good feeling to cheer them, knowing you don't know their story. They didn't just pop, like I said, they didn't just all of a sudden become successful, but cheer them on and you feel better about yourself.
Yeah,
rather
you
than
do.
trying to knock people down. And we know people like that. Oh, they probably know somebody. Oh, they probably had plastic surgery. Or,
right. Good for them. Yes.
Right. And
I'd like some plastic surgery.
Right. But they want to, or somebody works out really hard. Oh, they're probably just genetics. They were born that way. No, I mean, celebrate people's hard work. Celebrate them.
Right. Makes a big difference.
It does. And when you compliment that person, you probably made their day. If you see somebody who's done very, very well, compliment them. I'm
very big on that energy flow because the moment you do that, it bounces back to you. It elevates you.
Yeah, like a rubber ball. Boom, boom. Or a boomerang.
Like a boomerang. It is. Whatever we put out, that echo. Right. That really
like in the mountains. Echo.
I haven't done that in a long time.
I'm fired up today, Joyce.
You're always fired up. Are you extra fired up today?
My wife said it's a good thing that you don't do drugs, drink, and never have, but I guess you can count coffee as a drug, can't you? Technically, caffeine. Is it
my grandson calls my Snapple a drug because I like tea. So.
But what's your favorite drug? Love is a drug, like the old song by Roxy Music. Love is a drug that I'm thinking of.
Okay, so that one I don't know. I know Roxy Music, but I don't know.
Yeah, we were playing that song at PLR back in the day when you and I were there together.
Love is a drug.
Love is a drug. There's another one you can look up out there.
Yeah, you got a zillion of them, not even a million of them.
I mean, I apologize to everybody who's watching and listening today because I'm all over the friggin' map. I'm like, squirrel. Duh, 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 duh. So my wife says, "Can you focus on one thing?"
Yes, you can. You always focus on the positive.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what would we say to people who say that they're going through a real tough time and they can't seem to get to that positive place?
I think we should just empathize with them. The last thing people want to do is be judged and this and that. Say, listen, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. And I still do feel the same way at times. But you just keep doing what you're doing. If it feels right in your heart and it's something you really want to go for and do it, you keep firing away and doing it. Be bloom where you're planted. Bloom where you're planted right now, and even if it's not where you want to be.
Right.
And be grateful for that, because gratitude is riches. Yeah. And the more grateful you are, the more good things are going to happen in your life.
Yes.
I found that in my life. But, let's face it. I mean, it's not all Pollyanna here. There are days when I'm frustrated, and I'm sure you are. It's like, I wish something would happen quicker than this, or, oh, man, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
I mean, life throws you curveballs all the time. But it's all about how you respond to it. I mean, everybody watching and listening right now, we were never promised a free ride in this world. Our Maker said that, you will have trouble, but I will always be with you. And there's always an escape hatch somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether we take it or not, that's up to us.
I think what I've learned during my darkest times in life, and there have been many, and that's where the richness is. And I've learned to be quiet during those times, not complaining, and just going more inward as to why this is happening, whether it's an illness I've been through or deaths. It's just a time to get quiet. And however you do that, whether it's in prayer or reading or watching a movie, maybe crying, even just purging it out of you. There's a reason for that. And that's where I think like the deep faith, even if faith could be a lot of things. It doesn't have to be, a belief in anything except that things will get better. Nothing stays dark forever. Even people who have gone through, I think the worst tragedy is losing a child. Many of them rise up and start foundations and charities, or they support others, and they take that pain and they use it for good.
Adversity. They take adversity and use it into an opportunity.
Yes.
And then they can bless other people. So when somebody else goes through that horrible situation, they can pat their shoulder or give them a hug and say, "Listen, I know how you feel. I've been there. And look, and if you're in a really good place, I came out pretty good."
Right.
Because they say that every setback is really a setup for something better.
Right.
Regardless, you may not see that when you're going through a tragedy. You lost. I mean, no parent wants to outlive their kids. I've never had kids of my own. I have a beautiful stepdaughter. But I have lost a spouse. I know you've lost a spouse. But so we know what pain's like.
Right.
But everybody watching and listening right now is not exempt from that. If you haven't gone through that pain, you will.
Yeah. If you live long enough.
If you're lucky to live long enough.
Yeah, that's the downside is someone's going to die.
Exactly.
That you love.
I celebrate every wrinkle, every this and that, because it means that I'm still alive, that I'm still I'm still up today.
Yeah. I have days like that. Then I have days like, all right, I'm getting rid of this.
Yeah, we all feel that way.
Yeah. So I would say, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Remember every day. And I have to remember this,
You should do those breathing exercises at the end of these podcasts every now and then.
Now, the breathing is, just
body exercise.
Take that deep belly breath. Think like yourself like a Raggedy Ann doll sitting in a chair. And that relaxes all your muscles, because you'll be surprised. I am surprised, too, how many times during the day my shoulders start creeping up to my earlobes. And you don't realize how tense you're getting. It's not because you're trying to do
trap exercises either.
No. No, I wish. No.
Right.
It's just relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, and know that this too shall pass. Yep. When I was working in a restaurant years ago, oh my gosh, and the summers were really like kicking, especially down along the shoreline. And we were working so hard. And the owner was very Zen-like, wonderful person. And she said, "Remember, Joyce, you can't stop time. Soon it will be evening and you'll be home. And you'll be in your bed and this will be over. This isn't going to last, for long. It's just this period."
A lot of wisdom
And I'll
there.
just never forget her saying that. So when I feel like I'm having a rough day, I then think, well, this day will soon be over and the sun will set and I would have made it through.
Yeah.
And it depends how I want to make it through.
And those are the days you really look forward. You look at that bed and it looks so good. You just get in that bed and you kind of put the pillow, lay on the pillow, put the blankets over your head if you want. And then you wake up the next day. And if it's a rainy day, the sun's still shining.
Yeah.
The sun's still shining. We just don't see it at that point.
I say that all the time when someone complains. I said, you see those clouds? Above that, the sun's shining really bright.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we thank you so, so much for tuning in and listening / watching our show, What's Good with John and Joyce. Please share it with somebody you think that really needs, a pick-me-up. Seems like so many people need that nowadays. And a lot of anger, a lot of divisiveness, a lot of pain in the world nowadays. So we just feel for 30 minutes each week you can come here and get away from that and share those with somebody. Subscribe for free on YouTube, but we're available on all major streaming platforms. And Joyce, as always, it's a pleasure hanging out with you, and I pray for you and your family.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
And
we
your
pray for
families
all
too.
of you.
Yeah.
All of you. Thank you.
Till next time.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.